Are you a mark maker? I had an artist friend who called herself a mark maker. I guess that was kind of a humble way to describe herself as opposed to saying I'm an artist with a capital A, which sometimes is a little pretentious. I guess we're all mark makers in one way or another, but there's nothing more satisfying to me than making marks with things that are destined for the trash. So today I brought some stuff with me to show you, and this is some really true mark making. The first up in this pile is probably the most iconic. It's bubble wrap. I think everybody has probably used this at one time or another. That was the first thing I remember people using sort of shipping materials to make marks with many years ago. So I'm going to demo on this white background using black paint, easiest to see. Just kind of a light touch there. The next up is just basic cardboard. What I did on this piece was I peeled the top off to expose the corrugated aspect of it. The thicker a piece you have, the better it's going to work. Some of the corrugation is really smashed on some of these boxes you get in the mail, but this was a good one. And though it will take you a few minutes to peel that off, you can use this cardboard for a long time. And the more paint you get on these things, the better it holds up because it no longer soaks in the acrylic paint into the cardboard. Now here's some more cardboard packing material. This is an interesting one. It's got kind of a honeycomb inside to it. And once again, I peeled off the top. This is the side. It's a kind of a double wall thing. And this is what it looked like on the other side before I peeled it off. I love this one. A little bit rare in the packing and shipping material world. Most of everything I brought here today is packing material that was going to go to the trash. I love repurposing this stuff. I'm always looking for textures and interesting marks, interesting potential. Do that again so maybe you can see the honeycomb a little better. Just do it right here. I'm not going to cover the whole thing since I'm working with a small canvas. This is actually a board I'm working on. There's some honeycomb. Next up is another piece of packing material, cardboard. I've never seen anything quite like this. This was really strange. I had to save it. It's kind of looks like a fence kind of thing, but it makes these long marks. I'm using a foam roller to roll the paint on. It's a little quicker. You can use a brush, but this is a little quicker and more uniform. It's just a hardware store item. Press that down. This cardboard's a little softer than that honeycomb, so it was a little easier for it to leave a mark. Next up, technically not packing material, but this is a piece of burlap. I actually order green chilies from New Mexico every summer because I love green chili, and they send it in burlap inside a box, of course. So burlap is actually one of my favorites mark making things too. It works really good on gel plates. I'm not going to do gel plates today, but I have done a lot of gel plates, so maybe I'll do a video on that. We'll just press some down here. And again, if this gets built up with paint, doesn't matter because it just gets better. You can see there's kind of at the bottom there, kind of a nice look to that. Here we have a egg crate. This is the top part of a large quantity egg this recycled cardboard egg crates. If you go to places where they have several dozen, we eat a lot of eggs, so we use a lot of eggs. I'm just going to do the corner here. See how that goes. There's a nice diamond shape. You can also use the other side, which is the bottom. Make little bumpy marks with that. Now here we have the most ordinary thing in the world. This was brown paper inside of an Amazon box. I just pulled it out the way it was, the way they had stuffed it in there. You can always re-water it up. It's a little less of a uniform mark, but it still can be interesting for mark making. Do you know what they call this paper in the shipping industry? They call it void fill, which is amazing. Can you imagine if you were called void fill? But that's kind of all right. Brown paper, void fill. Here we have another egg crate. This is a different one. This is the bottom. It has little cross shapes. I put my paint right on my table as opposed to having a palette because I had put plastic down on my table, which really frees you up to not worry about where's my little palette thingy and have stuff you throw away. This plastic will last forever, and you can always, if it gets to be too much paint on your table, you can always peel it up when it's dry. Little funny cross shapes there. Here we have a drink carrier. Again, you can use both sides. This top has this shape, the bottom, some funny shapes there. I think I'll just do a bottom one and show you that one. Let's do that single. If you're working on a bigger canvas, of course, you can press the whole thing in, really get some coverage on a large canvas. This is your basic center of a tape roll, usually destined for the trash. Circles. The other thing that I like to do with all mark making is go off the edge. That way everything's not just inside. Go off the edge. Way more interesting. This is actually really one of my favorites. This is a pool noodle, but somebody put this in a packing box that I received, and I cut off the end. Makes a nice little donut. I can't stop now because I really like this one. So there is some mark making. Just a little demo. And what I'd like to know from you is, what kind of marks do you make with things that you found? Let me know in the comments. Not the store-bought stuff, but the actual found stuff like this.